Hello, my astrology family. This is Lada from astrolada.com, here to talk today about the new moon in Cancer, which is going to be happening on the 20th of July approximately, and it's going to influence us till the next new moon, which will be on the 18th of August. So for a whole month ahead, this new moon in Cancer will influence us. And I wish I could say it's an easy new moon, but nothing is easy this year, guys. It's like the year devised by an evil genius or by a great, amazing genius who wants us to evolve and grow. And this new moon is exactly about evolution and growth because it happens in Cancer. The symbol of Cancer, the ancient symbol of Cancer, was two spirals interlocking. And spiral is a symbol of evolution. So Cancer is the sign of evolution. You know, because Cancer is the womb and where a baby grows and to give birth to something. So Cancer is basically a sign when there is a new moon there, and especially in the specific constellation in Vedic astrology, which is called Pushya, which is about nurturing growth, giving birth to something new, nurturing it to growth, which has lasting results. And also it's a constellation that brings abundance and wealth, but one in moral ways, not in ways that hurt someone else. Whatever you start now, starting after the 20th of July till the 20th of August approximately, it will come out from a higher inspiration. It will come out for the greater good of everyone involved. The impulses that we'll receive, they'll be from a much higher vibration because the deity connected to that part of the sky, to that constellation Pushya, that area of the stars, is extremely benevolent deity about growth, about abundance, about morality. So growth in ways and abundance and wealth and opportunities that comes, that you nurture, that you grow over time, but which comes through in a way that is beneficial for everyone around, in a way that does not, you don't take from another, you don't harm another to have your growth and to have your opportunities coming. But having said that, this new moon, which means the sun and the moon coming together, mother and father, male and female joining to create something new inspiration, it's going to be opposed by Saturn. Look at that. And Jupiter and Pluto. I'm missing Pluto. I think the baby swallowed it. So it's kind of, I found her with some of the planets in her mouth. So Pluto is where it's supposed to be, in someone's colon. Sorry about that, my inappropriate sense of Pluto humor. But look, the new moon, sun and moon together in Cancer, the sign of evolution, the sign of growth and nurturing new life. And new moons is about new beginnings. So yes, we'll be given an opportunity from the end of the month, after the 20th, from the 22nd, 1st, to have, to start something in our life that nurtures, that we can nurture for a long time, but which will bring good things for everyone involved, including ourselves, and do it in a moral way that benefits everyone. But Saturn is exactly opposite. Saturn, has a side that it resists. Saturn has an energy which indicates that things will happen. This birth of the new thing will be like labor pains. It will be laborious. It will be difficult. It will be slower. So whatever that inspiration comes into our life that we start, and whatever new beginning comes into our life, first of all, might be a little bit by force, because Saturn is a forceful planet. It's almost like karmic duty, or we're put in circumstances that we don't really want to start doing that new thing. It's actually going to be for our good. Eventually, it's Pushya, as we said, this constellation that brings something really beautiful to fruition and abundance. But we might be pushed there in a way that we're kicking and screaming, that we're not very happy about, forced into it. Saturn can have like this, I'll restrict you in some way, or I'll push you to do this. But eventually it will be good. Eventually it will be good, but initially might feel like a strain. Sorry for my glasses being broken. As I said, our island is closed, and the shops are not working or anything. So I look a bit funny with those glasses. But whenever I can now fix them. But anyway, Saturn opposition this full moon, this new moon, sorry, it's going to give some resistance also to the new things that we're trying to start. Either we're going to be forced there into it, and we might not willingly want to go, but remember it's going to be for good, because the ultimate energy of this sector where the sun and moon meet is quite beneficial, is quite positive. Or whatever we're trying to start will receive a lot of resistance from authority, from people in power, from older people, or from our own, usually because it's an opposition, resistance from someone else. It comes from outside. That whatever we're trying to do, they kind of challenge us, they delay us. It might be bureaucratic because Saturn is in Capricorn, red tape, bureaucratic, having to jump hoops, having to go laws that are, for example, if someone wants to start a business or something like that, there might be too many complications with law, you know, and too many needs to solve and to appease and to do things by the rules, exactly like Saturn is. And, you know, so that can be frustrating. And whatever we start from the end of July and big part of August, it's going to take much longer to come into fruition. And I wanted to speak also about what it can bring to the world, but I want to make this video shorter. So I'm just going to focus on the personal influence, how this eclipse is going to affect people. So let's start with Aries. If you're especially, and we're using tropical zodiac here, tropical, which means the Western horoscope. So if you're Aries, this is going to happen the new moon in your 4th house. So there will be a new birth, new opportunity to start something, to grow it, to benefit everyone around you in regards to your family, your home, your place of living. There might be an opportunity to move. There might be an opportunity to sell property, to do something new to your home. That starts from the end of the month. But this resistance from Saturn means that this might be delayed somehow, or you have to jump through a lot of legal hoops in some way, say if you want to buy a home or if you want to relocate. Or it can indicate that we have to really balance between the opportunities, new developments in your personal life with home and family. And you have to balance against your career, heavy responsibility in the public eye, or bosses and authorities. So there is this push and pull here. This can delay the whole process of the new birth here in the 4th house of personal life and family. For some people as well, but you know, you have a lot of fighting force right now, Aries. You are ready for the battle. Mars is in your sign. It will continue to be there till the end of the year. So you can overcome any kind of challenges, especially Mars is not afraid of Saturn. We as Aries, Saturn is, you know, we're Aries, we want new things. We're excited to start new things always, want to push forward. And Saturn is exactly the opposite. It doesn't want new things. It wants things to stay as they are. But Mars or us, it's not afraid of Saturn. It's just a minor irritation. The rules, the regulations, we can jump those hoops. But you see, these new powerful beginnings are starting here in the 4th house of personal life and family and home. All right, if you're Taurus, this new moon is going to happen in your 3rd house of communications, of business, of skills. So some of you might start to want to develop new skills. You know, some of you might want to start a blog, or to start, this is also media, the 3rd house. Some of you might want to have an opportunity to develop, for example, a website, a blog, or start some type of videos or some online business. Everything that I'm talking about is 3rd house. So start a new campaign, a new project that is connected to writing, to speaking, to commercial activities of any sort. This is the 3rd house again. So some new activity that involves small group of people. So you have to work with someone in a team, or maybe at your job or at your office with your workmates, you can be starting a new project of some sort. involving meetings and business and commercial activities or administrative projects, or some paper document projects or writing, speaking projects. All of those things are the third house, but you're getting resistance here from Saturn. Maybe it will go slow, or maybe you have to really be careful to, over the next 1 month when you're starting this thing, to cross the I's and cross the T's and dot the I's, because that's what Saturn kind of, every mistake is punished very, very severely. And you can feel honestly like if you're learning new skill, for example, which is again third house, this new moon can bring the desire to learn new skills, to learn new hobbies, to incorporate third house is very experimentative. You just want to go dive in, play, try your hands on different things, maybe try skateboarding, maybe try something new like knitting, whatever it is, that it's a skill that requires you to put some effort in to learn. This is the third house. It might be professional skill of some sort, not just for interests or pleasures or hobbies. And it's going to be tough to learn it though, because of the opposition to Saturn. It means it will be like birthing pains. It means it will take time. So maybe if you want to learn something now, it can be something that is, you find that's very tough, that takes long time, like learning to play the piano or learning to program or something like that. Or if you start, for example, a new website now and you're thinking, oh, I'll finish it in 3 months or some other project, remember, if it's initiated over the next 1 month, it's under the influence of Saturn opposition, those planets in the third house. So it will take probably twice as long than you expected. It can still be very successful though. Any commercial business project that you start now, or media marketing, all of those things, or learning a skill, because, or collaboration with someone, because the new moon is happening in a very successful constellation called Pushya, like we spoke at the beginning about, something that will benefit everyone involved, something that you get the inspiration from higher realms, something that will bring abundance and success, lasting success, but it will be slower than you expected. And you can be, there might be like jumps and hoops you have to, administrative of some sort, technological of some sort, but also Saturn in the ninth house, legal hoops that you might have to go over in regards to any project that you're starting. All right, if you're Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising, we'll start with the rising, then the Sun and the Moon. Then this new moon is happening in your second house. There'll be an opportunity to start some initiative from the end of the month, which can bring you more success, especially financial, material success, because the constellation Pushya is very much about financial, material as well, growth and abundance. That will benefit, and it's going to be in a moral way that benefits you and others around you. It's not in a selfish way, but you will have some material opportunity that comes, financial. But there'll be again resistance here from Saturn in the eighth house. For you to see the results of that material endeavor might take 2 times longer than you expected initially. You might have a lot of legal hoops or rules and regulations that you have to overcome. Some resistance, bureaucratic resistance, for example, or just obstacles of any sort. It can also indicate that Saturn is in the eighth house, that there can be tensions between your finances and your financial situation, and you striving to have your own financial self-sufficiency, material self-sufficiency, which this new moon wants you to create, to bring you material self-sufficiency and independence, but you might have some resistance, or to overcome maybe some obligations towards another party. Eighth house is other person's resources, so maybe some expenses that you have towards another, or maybe resistance from spouse or partner, business partner, and resources that comes to that, or institutions like taxation and stuff. This is also the eighth house. So you have to juggle those two, but there is like definite focus for a big part, in even in July and part of August, in this financial house, material resources, and that independent resources that you want to develop, and other people's resources, or mutual finances of some sort. All right, so if you're Cancer, the new moon is happening in your first house, Cancer. Everything that I spoke about at the beginning of this video introductory is very much active for you. It's very much present for you. You can listen the beginning. But it means there is a powerful new beginning. And actually, this is the second eclipse happening in the sign of Cancer within the same season. The first one happened at 0° Cancer, and it was also a solar eclipse. And the next one is, this is the first eclipse for the last 2 years that is without, sorry, the first new moon that is without an eclipse. So it has less, let's say, sudden and drastic influence, but still it brings something new into your life. A new direction, a new initiatives in your life that you personally want to start, that you're personally excited about, that you're going to grow over a long time ahead, that can bring abundance because it's in the constellation Pushia, which is about growth, abundance, which can benefit not only you but others as well, which stems from a higher moral inspiration as well. So it can affect you in a positive way if you undertake something new about your health, about your physical appearance, about career, anything in your life, but you initiate it. And there can be a bit of pressure to initiate it from another person, from Saturn in the 7th house. But you can also receive resistance from others. Maybe you're starting this new chapter of your life, this new beginning, this new idea, but your partners or close people in your life, 7th house, business partners, personal partners, they're resisting. They don't want you to change. They demand things to be done differently, for example. So there is a lot of focus on you here. You're in the spotlight. You're initiating and starting new beginnings, but at the same time, you also, with so many planets here in your 7th house, you have to take into consideration the needs of others around you. And you have to, basically, you cannot do it in a selfish way. And you have to, you receive resistance from others, and you have to accommodate their needs in regards to that. But don't worry, move forward, even though slowly, because Saturn is opposing it. And if you're starting some new projects, whatever it is right now, from the end of July and big part of August, know that it might take twice as long to reach the end of it, to complete it, because of the Saturn opposition. And you can notice as well, Saturn rules authorities, people in power, or older people, people with in institutions, for example, in higher positions in institutions, you can receive some resistance or push towards this new beginning from them. All right, so if you're Leo, the new moon is happening in your 12th house. So for some of you, it can indicate the possibility of a new beginning abroad, or in a faraway place, or in connection to relocation to foreign place. Some of it can indicate a new beginning connected to foreign investment, for example, or if you can travel at all, or even if you can't travel, just something connected to faraway country or some way. Our 12th house can also indicate new beginning connected to opportunity, and new beginning to grow something, especially in regards to your spiritual life. The 12th house is your spiritual life, meditation, dream work, prayer, journaling, gratitude lists, visualization for the future, all those spiritual activities that we use to boost our soul happiness, to boost our vision, to boost our faith, and so they can be, definitely some new, definitely new such interest, new beginnings for some research, to start preparing for something behind the scenes until the new moon comes into your sign next month after the 18th of August. But now you're in a preparatory stage for the next 30 days, so to speak. You're researching, digging something. Allow yourself to rest, allow yourself these few weeks to even to, if you can, escape somewhere from responsibility, to go on a holiday, or in a sanctuary, in a spa, to a massage, to a salon, if you can, to lock yourself at home with meditations, or with visualizations, or with watching Gaia or astrology videos, or learning and researching such things, discovering and exploring your subconscious, your motivation, and the things you want to leave behind. You're in a period of leaving behind things, and this new moon can give you, can really illuminate you into what it is you need to leave behind. But you need to allow yourself this rest. You need to allow yourself even to sleep a bit longer and later, and to have more quiet time. And also it can mean initiating or starting some new beginning connected to, yes, we said spiritual activities, research, something behind the scenes, some creative or very imaginative project that might start forming in your head. But you cannot start it before the new moon in your sign, which is towards the 18th of August. Now it's like more like the imagination is starting to form, the visuals in your mind, so write them down or enhance them with feeling, with sound, with color, because this is the invisible realm, and you're really boosted by this 3 planets there, actually, to be able to extract and to connect to those invisible realms, and to get inspiration from there to create something which you can start from the second part of August. But you're going to receive resistance as well, because Saturn is making an opposition to this new moon. So whatever those new beginnings are, maybe some, we're talking some imaginative projects, some research, or some investment in a faraway place, or some spiritual work, you'd find that you get a lot of, it's much harder to do it, but don't give up, because it will be a source of a possibility of great growth and a good abundance, because it's happening in an abundant sphere of the sky, the constellation Pushia. But a lot of like daily responsibilities and duties in the face of Saturn in the 6th house will be making this, whatever you're starting, very hard. We'll be making, for example, trying to relax or meditate or incorporate some spiritual activity much harder, because of Saturn calls here work, maybe extra errands and duties, all of those daily routines and activities that keep us hectic, and responsibilities. This is what it's creating a opposition here. Or if you're doing some research, you can, or you can receive a lot of, it will be more laborious, it will be longer. Or if you're starting something to do with foreign countries, with investments, or whether travel in somewhere, or relocations, again, it will be a longer process than you expected, because the Saturn opposition, you can realize that it's, at some moments, it might feel impossible almost, and it might take, if you think it might take a few months, it might take way more. Okay. And so you're searching here for spiritual mental peace with this new moon, but you have to overcome the daily responsibilities which are also present. Then if you are, and worries, Saturn in the 6th house, you worry a lot with this new moon in the 12th house. Your mental, you can notice at moments that your mental health is not so stable because of the 12th house, 6th house emphasis. It's been a hard year for Leos, actually hard 2 years for Leos, because 6th house and 12th house have been strongly affected by planets for you for almost 2 years. And again, this is the last time actually you're having such strong emphasis on the 6th and 12 houses. 12 houses are losses, 6th house is illness, is death, is worries. You can often make some more anxious, overworked, stressed out, and even victimized in some sense because of the 6th house, influence that you've had. And this is the last standoff between the 6th and the 12th house for you Leos. So that's the last push. The next time there is a new moon but in either the sign Cancer or Capricorn, which is on this difficult axis, 6th and 12th house, which is very karmic, none of the other planets will be there, like Jupiter and Saturn, they won't be in Capricorn. So, last more psychologically and materially tough times. All right, so if you are Virgo, the new moon is happening in your 11th house. So new opportunities for some new profits can appear for you from the end of the month and part of August, for gainfulness, some new social economic or business opportunities as well. It's very business house. Some new business connections can appear, or personal connections and friendships and associations with groups. You might join some group, or you might join some society or some network that can be very beneficial for you to grow profit, to grow your future opportunities, because it's in a growth and evolutionary centered part of the sky where the new moon is happening in Cancer, in the constellation of push year, of growth, of abundance. But as we said, there is resistance that's coming from Saturn. So whatever new social, profitable, economic endeavors or business endeavors, or if you're someone who is in the public eye, like who is trying new opportunities here appearing, and you're starting them, for example, to start something that will influence large groups of people, or to bring out a project, or to start doing a project that you expose to the public or bring out to the public in some way. But there is resistance here from Saturn, maybe resistance from, the creative flow is not so smooth. There's some creative blockage that is happening in regards to that for original ideas. Or the other thing is that it's just, if you're initiating something with business or some goal and dream, the 11th house is to initiate a new, the new moon there, initiate a goal or a dream of yours that will bring you closer to having success in life. Obviously, the 11th house is very gainful house, but whatever this project is and this initiative, it might take longer than you expected. So if you've planned it, I'll finish it in a month, or I'll finish it in 3-4 months, just double that time, because it's initiated under the influence of Saturn opposition moon and sun new moon. And Saturn always brings, as I said, maybe some bureaucratic hoops and obstacles, maybe some some institutional or law things that you have to deal with, so yes. And also Saturn in the 5th house can indicate that your own lack of self-confidence. 5th house is confidence. Saturn there opposing your 11th house, that you might be self-sabotaging it and making it harder, whatever this new moon wants to give birth to, this new gainfulness, this new social network for you, this new outreach to wider audience, or even new friendships, that your self-confidence is sabotaging you in some way. You're feeling like, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough. But again, it's something that, you have to work through. What can I say? You can make it magically disappear. Just remember that if you grab that opportunity, and even when you hear those voices of self-doubt of Saturn, or even direct opposition from someone else towards your goals and plans, and delays and complications, that push through, because this new moon here, it's so powerful in this really beneficial constellation, Virgo, of eventual long-lasting success and long-lasting material benefits as well. Okay, so if you're Libra, the new moon, it's happening in your 10th house. It wants to really renew your career sector. It wants to bring a fresh idea or a breath of fresh air into your social status and work of any sort. So some of you might be starting the second part of the month new work projects, new career projects, and they can. And don't forget that Saturn is opposing it. So those work projects and career projects might take much longer than you expected to fulfill, to complete. They can really, you can receive, and you can get excited about maybe even starting a new career, a new job for some of you. For some of you, it might be a new boss that comes. If you're your own boss, you just have new ideas, new projects, how to proceed, and it might take, if you think, oh, it's going to take 2 3 months to complete it, again, might take actually 9 months, 18 months, or something longer than expected. But also there is resistance. You have to balance between home and family, because Saturn here, it's putting heavy responsibilities around home and family, and some developments that are possibly happening in regards to property or place of living, or with your personal family. They can feel like a dampening or like a challenging influence on those new exciting projects that you want to start with, or on new career opportunities that are appearing for you. So you have to balance both. You can't ignore one, or the new moon, and focus on the fourth house only of personal life, or ignore the fourth house. You just have to know that whatever these goals are in regards to your career, you have to balance them with responsibilities for home, or even resistance from your family in regards to your new vision and new ideas for career and new opportunities there. All right, but don't forget that this one can bring lasting success because it's in a very good constellation, Pushia, which gives lasting success and growth, to nurture and grow something, an evolution that benefits everyone. All right, if you're Scorpio, rising sun or moon, the new moon is happening in your ninth house, guys. So there is new horizons are starting to open for you. For some of you, might be an opportunity to travel somewhere, from the July and August opportunity. But again, there is resistance here. Yes, the opportunity will appear, maybe to travel, maybe to study something, to start some crash, some educational course, some crash course, or some degree of some sort, or pre-qualify, the desire to pre-qualify, study something else. Can appear new such opportunities for travel, for foreign import, export, foreign investment, foreign relocation as well. This is the ninth house. Such opportunities can come for Scorpios. But there is resistance here, especially because Saturn, the third house, like the familiar environment. So all those new vistas that are opening, other countries, people from other countries, new studies, new knowledge, even relocation abroad, or connecting from people from very different social status than you, which is the ninth house. Again, opportunity to connect with teachers or people that are more knowledgeable, but there is resistance, almost like internal. I know my neighborhood, it feels safe. And this is where the blockage can happen. This is where some fears, like, oh, I want the familiar, the known, my local environment, the skills that I have till now, the fears will come up. But again, I would advise you have to take into consideration both, but I would advise you that and you have some responsibilities in your immediate environment, in your local environment, with extended family, with relatives, with friends, in your own city and town. But so you have to take responsibility of those, but you know, but at the same time, if you initiate here in the next month those new beginnings that I told you, higher education or studies or travel or relocation to a different place or state, it can give very lasting long-term success because of the constellation the new moon is happening in. It can bring even fortune because it's a fortunate, abundant constellation. But there will be resistance, maybe from your relatives, maybe from your current friends, maybe from a resistance from your own mind. So you can feel a bit more worried as well, because this is on the axis, Scorpio, of the mind, higher mind, lower mind. The higher mind wants you to open up to new opportunities, to places you've never been before, to people you've never seen before, to things you've never studied before. While Saturn in the third house of the daily chat mind, the daily narrative, is like, no, that this is too out there. This is, there's no way, it can work out. Self-doubting thoughts, negative narrative. This is what you have to overcome. Or maybe lots of responsibilities with some kind of administrative tasks and daily routine tasks is the third house, and daily busy activities that you have, commercial business or just, whatever. That is putting a bit of a dampening on your desire to expand, to grow, to explore new territories in your mind or physically even. So you have to balance between those two somehow. And you can find resistance from others, it's your opinion. New belief systems are starting to form in you. New visions, higher perspective. For some of you can even feel a bit like a spiritual awakening of their mind expanding, but they're receiving resistance from people in their everyday life, maybe, or from the media. They start seeing, you start noticing and seeing a much bigger reality. and much bigger picture, but like the narrative on the media or on the news or from your friends on Facebook or your day or your, you know, relatives or neighbors or co-workers, teammates, people you meet in your everyday environment is like, are you crazy? They're being skeptical, they might be cynical towards you. You say, I want to go travel, I want to explore, or I'm gonna start you know, studying this, or you start talking to them in your opinions, like some new inspirations come about higher knowledge and higher wisdom, and they kind of bring you back to the pettiness of everyday life, and to their opinions can be opposing to you, can be more undermining. So you have to remember that and try and, you know, overcome it. The inspiration is coming here, it wants to push you to higher vision, to expand your horizons. And your smaller vision, more tunnel vision here is the blockage in the face of your own inner narrative and in the face of those in your everyday environment. Or in the best case scenario, it can mean that you're like really learning something. This is the access of learning new skills and honing them, and at the same time higher knowledge and seeing how it fits in a bigger goal in your life and putting it to use, you taking your skills and putting them to use in a bigger picture in your life somehow. But because the Saturn opposition, those new initiatives that you're starting, they'll have hoops, or even if you're starting a trip of some sort or some studies, they'll take longer. Or if you're starting some educational career or educational project, which is the ninth house, or maybe teaching or lecturing or whatever, it will take longer. It will have some legal hoops maybe to overcome, or papers or documents, or you know, or some kind of other obstacles that you have to be prepared for. It's not going to be totally smooth sailing, but you have to take it because it's a source of opportunity and growth. Then if you're Sagittarius, Sagittarius might be feeling, especially this year, might have been feeling especially weakened in some ways. Sagittarius rising, sun and moon, because the South Node entered their sign, which weakens, you know, the energy of the sign, which weakens, more like it's almost like the important events are happening to you through others, because the North Node is there, and you still continue to have for a large time. If things happen, they come to you through others somehow, the good things or the exciting and important things. And also the ruler of Sagittarius, Jupiter, is in its weakest sign in Capricorn. So a lot of Sagittarius people might have been feeling a little bit more, if they're trying to achieve something, it's a bit harder overall. But don't worry, let's see where the new moon, what you can get happening in the next month, starting from the end of the end of July till the next new moon in August, around the 18th. Well, the new moon is happening in your 8th house. So it's again connected to other people, other people's resources, money coming to you from partner, business partner, or from taxes. So there can be an opportunity that you're starting on some kind of a mutual profit activity together with another person. It might be business or personal partner. There might be like a new financial beginning for your partner, your marriage partner, whatever. Or you might be starting on some kind of a quest for taxes. I mean, like for reducing taxes or whatever. Or you might be starting on some quest for or some initiative connected with funding, with raising resources through others. And just remember that it's gonna have some resistance. It's gonna be hard. Or for example, you might be starting on some initiative to procure more finances which are connected to other people, to clients or something, but there is resistance here. Those projects will take longer. They can be more complicated than you expect, but eventually they can bring longer lasting financial abundance as well, because the 8th house is financial house, and the new moon is happening in a very abundant, growth oriented nakshatra, pushya, like we said, which is connected to wealth as well, which can benefit both, not just you, but others as well. So it's good for you to push in that new financial direction, so to speak. but just remember that it will be happening slower, that it might create some tension between your partner's resources and your resources. And the eighth house is not just other people's finances, it's also connected to deep psychological exploration. Some of you might dive into the occult, into astrology, into understanding your deep motives, into human design or astrology, or learning about psychology and past lifetimes and death and rebirth. It's some kind of a transformation on a spiritual and psychological level can be starting for you here, Sagittarius, in this eighth house. And you can feel quite intense. You can feel quite almost like an X-ray for the next 1 month. It's like your eighth house is triggered. The eighth house that gives you Scorpio-like qualities for a month. Almost like you look at people and you immediately, your bullshit detector is very strong, and you can see through them like an X-ray, and you can feel especially the more negative motivations and intentions of others. Even if they have the biggest smile on, you kind of cannot be fooled with this powerful influence here in your eighth house. So some power struggles can happen because of that as well. And also clashing between your values and other people's values. Second house is your values. Eighth house is other people's values. But there is something valuable that's coming from other people to you. An opportunity there to collaborate with them, to use their resources or talents or skills in some way, to get some moral, financial support even. But again, there'll be a lot of resistance here because you might not be seeing eye to eye in your values and their values. Also, there can be some tension between how much you're contributing to a relationship and how much they're contributing. And we're not talking only financially, we're talking about money, not only money, but we're talking about emotionally, psychologically, even how much, you're willing to have intimacy with each other, how much one opens up to another. So this is where the tension can feel. And the eighth house is also the house, but you can start some occult studies, as I said. You can start on an astrology course or webinar. You can check out a lot of our webinars. We have great ones. Or you can start on psychotherapy. This is great, and you're going to unearth a lot of family issues there. Saturn in the second house is connected to family and ancestral ancestry heritage. But they can be a big psychological transformation for you. It can feel sometimes intense, but it can lead to a breakthrough, especially in some inverse to negative patterns or opportunity to overcome your fears. This is the eighth house is connected to fears as well. Okay. If you're a Capricorn, well, the new moon is happening in your seventh house. Capricorn, sun, moon, rising. The seventh house is about relationships. So there can be a new opportunity for a relationship to appear, business partnership to appear in your life. But you might be quite resistant to someone new coming into your life, even though the stars here saying, yes, someone new can appear, a close friend or even a relationship partner or a new stage in the life of your partner if you're married. They can be starting something new. They can decide to do something, who knows, change a job or change how they look, but you might be the one resisting that. You might be like, oh, don't feel too comfortable with it. Saturn is in your first house, opposing those planets in your seventh house. So it can be push and pull between you and partners, especially, around the 20th of July, maybe a week before and a couple of weeks after is especially strong. And your needs versus the partner's needs. But you have to allow someone in your life to start a new beginning, because that can benefit you in a way. It can, because it's in your chart, it's happening in your chart. So something can come to you through another person or in the life of someone important for you, your business partner, your marriage partner, boyfriend, girlfriend that you're committed to. But there is push and pull, there is resistance. Or you might be starting some new business project. The seventh house is business. Seventh house is reaching out to new clients, to new audiences, opportunity for that, or starting some contract or agreement or some collaboration with someone. But again, if you're starting something like that, it will take longer than you expect. It can take, there can be more, some complications to work through. Especially it might be even your own fears in regards to that, because Saturn is in your first house, so your own resistance to that. Or there can be some administrative hoops or legal hoops in regards to that. But something new is being born, a new partnerships, a new collaboration, a contract, an agreement of some sort here in the seventh house that can be very beneficial and bring, because the nakshatra Pusha is about growth, abundance, nurturing. Okay. And then if you're Aquarius, rising sun or moon, this new moon in Cancer, the second one is again, the second one, there was one already, there was a solar eclipse in Cancer in your sixth house. So the thing continues, another new moon of Cancer. So apparently it's a very important topic for all of us. It's in the sixth house. So this new moon in Cancer is saying, again, another opportunity to start new and fresh in regards to your health, to see some maybe unhealthy pattern of yours with fresh eyes, and to start some new health patterns which you can nurture and grow and have lasting effects, because the new moon is happening in the constellation Pushya, which can bring lasting, very healthy, lasting, nurturing results, and even abundant results and happiness. And these inspirations come to you from a higher moral side, because Pushya is very highly moral, which benefits everyone involved. So you might feel very called to undertake some health improvements, whether detox or whether take on some exercise, or whether some healthy way of coping with stress, healthy way of coping with health problems of any sorts. Incorporate healthier habits and routines overall in your life. And that's been a theme for a while for a lot of us Aquarius. I mean, we've had so many eclipses in Cancer, and now this powerful new moon in your sixth house again gives you a push, but there'll be a resistance. It's not going to be an easy transition when it comes to initiating those routines and self-care routines, and because Saturn in the 12th house is opposing it. So incorporating those might take longer, but again, Saturn allows for more perseverance, allows you, or it can happen because of a negative experience that you're pushed towards new health routines and everyday, and not only health routines, it's about six houses, how to be more clean, more organized, more hygienic, to have more, just to sort out the mess around you, to fix the problems that you've known for a while there. So you can get, now this new moon is giving you a new push of inspiration to do this, but also because Saturn is opposing your own vices in the 12th house, is our own vices, our own subconscious fears, our own patterns from many past lifetimes, set patterns, is giving a big resistance to that. It's really making it a feat of willpower, so to speak. So the beginning of this process that you're trying to, and you've been trying already, because there was a new moon in Cancer already, so you've been trying it. So it can feel very tense, like you're getting a lot of resistance. Say, I want to quit smoking, and you're trying again. This new moon gives you the impetus, or forces you even into that. But it's like you're miserable about it, and it's like, you're resisting it, and it's kind of, you have to push through that. But the final result is lasting, very lasting growth, and very lasting healing. And because Cancer is very healing, and the sixth house is very, Pushya is very beneficial, and it's very nurturing sign. So it's telling you need this nurturing. Yes, your old habits, your old fears, your old attachments will make you resist it, but push through. And the sixth house is also work and work projects and employees. Some of you might have, might need to hire new people, Some of you might need to hire new employees and have this inspiration to, or have even an inspiration. It's more like need to, because Saturn is forcing you in that, in regards to that. Some of you might be starting a new work project or a new job even. With a new moon in the 6th house, that's definitely a possibility. And just remember that whatever new work project or work you're starting now, it will require, sorry about that, I need to switch off my Skype. It will require you to, it will take longer than you expect. It will have some resistance. There might be a lot of legal hoops, or there might be some circumstances outside of your influence, because Saturn is in the 12th house, something outside of us that is creating the frustration or delays with such projects. And that is creating, it's almost like it's out of your hands. So you just have to be patient and persevere. And Pushia, where the new moon is happening, is a very patient sign. So those new beginnings at work, at health, at your daily routines, they will require a lot of hard work, pushing through. Sometimes you can feel a bit, you know, negative about it, and like, but you know, you will do it. Don't worry, you will overcome it. Okay, and if you're Pisces, this new moon is happening in your 5th house. Okay, that's, this new moon is saying, I want you to have more fun, Pisces. I want you to go on a romantic date, or it's telling you, I want you to pick up some hobby that you really enjoy. I want you to let your hair down a bit. But at the same time, Saturn is opposing this new moon. So your Saturn responsibilities and duty, and saying, but I have so many duties and responsibilities, I can't do it. Oh, Saturn fell down. Or Saturn, the 11th house, is the house of your social duties and responsibilities, gain for profits, for earning, for income, or some project that you're working on, a business project or whatever. It's the 11th house as well. And you kind of have to balance between both of those. You can't just do one on another, but you can't neglect the call of this new moon to enjoy yourself more, maybe to go on a few dates. And if you start now a new dating experience, because the new moon in the 5th house can bring a new romantic partner for some of you, romantic interest, know that it might take longer to develop. If it starts now at the end of July and the first 2 weeks of August, basically it's under the influence of this new moon happening in your 5th house. And it can be something that grows slower than normal, that it has a few obstacles and hitches, maybe especially because of social nature, Saturn in the 11th house. And you should be a bit more patient if such new romantic opportunity appears. Or some creative project can appear for you, some new creative idea. The 5th house new moon always lights up your mind on fire with ideas. And that are your own, like brilliant. But you have to, they can appear and you can start them after the 21st of July for the next 1 month. Do start them, because they'll be a source of growth and opportunity. You can nurture it like a baby. It's very nurturing constellation. It's happening in Pushia, and the star and the sign of Cancer, the mother, the nurturing. So such a creative project. Or if it's your own business, any kind of project that you're starting, because it's your own business, it's your own baby, it's using your own creativity and your own ideas, you can grow it, but it will take twice as long, for example. It will take some bureaucratic hoops or some resistance or some creative idea that you have. You might see resistance from the audience and the public, or you might have self-doubts. Will they like this creative idea I have? Oh, I'm not sure. Maybe the audience, the public, maybe they're not going to like that. But remember that this new moon can bring very beneficial results. So you have to balance it and push through that. Also, there can be some push and pull between your love life and your social life. Something you have to resolve there. Your friends versus your girlfriend or boyfriend, or you your social responsibilities versus you wanting to have fun. You know, the 5th house, and it can also indicate that the 5th house, it's like your romantic fun side life. There is a possibility to fun, to have holiday, to enjoy yourself, possibility to get refreshed. But again, it comes with a lot of Saturnian rules. So maybe you go on holiday and you have to wear, or you go on a fun place and dinner you have to wear a mask, and that kind of ruins a bit the experience. So or you start dating someone but you can't see each other because this person can't travel from that state and see, or some complication there in regards to you, for your fun, for your enjoyment and pleasure. But there is new opportunities coming, and there is a renewal there. Just know that with the Saturn, there will be, it will be some conditions attached, so to speak. All right, so okay, I guess that's it. Oh, thank you so much, and don't forget, we're starting a new webinar with Victor on the moon. It's going to be 12 weeks, and it's going to explore the moon in depth, the most important planet in the horoscope. So oftentimes I can read a horoscope just by looking at the moon. Check it out. There is a discount. Yeah, and also my teacher Svetimira Borisova is offering 50% discount on her readings for 12-month prediction or rectification and birth of time. I'll put links to both of those below. Thank you.